should be okay. All right. So this is officially session 1. I gave you guys a bit of a crash course in this game, in this world, in this section of the world. Last time, had your characters meet each other. Learned a bit about your characters, maybe their potential motivations, and everything of that nature. This is a Call of Cthulhu game, but that doesn't necessarily mean that Cthulhu exists in this world. Who knows? Cthulhu might, or other things of that mythos might. But as I said, I like the idea of using this rule set and game mechanics because it made sense for this particular story, even if normally stuff set in this world is for my D&D. It is more used for D&D. Now, the three of you ran into each other just outside of the town of Pine Valley. Two of you were heading there on a trip. Yeah, you just met at the train station and were driving in there together. And the third of you had been out in the woods and accidentally wandered off into the street outside of town just after midnight. And so you decided just to give this poor guy a ride into town, and you started noticing that, you know what? Something seems to have happened to the car. It's not working anymore. And well, your phones all have certain charges still left in them. They're not actually getting any signal. Your first clues beyond this that something weird was going on was when you got to the motel just at the outskirts of town. I mean, sorry, just inside the town perimeter. Sorry, you were on the outskirts of town. Sorry, my brain does that sometimes, where it'll continue on without actually logical thing, just because it sounds nice. Anyway, just inside the border of town, got to the motel. Discovered that one of the cars had been tipped over on its side and wrenched. And then when you went into the office, you discovered a body. One of you decided to take a look in the air duct, which was actually up at high level or just above, and spotted something in it that, thankfully for him, didn't give him nightmares. In any direction, you guys decided the best thing to do is maybe to head to the local tavern called the Watering Hole. And that is where we're starting off today. It's dark. The street lights do not seem to be working. One of you, thankfully, does have night vision. And that would be Nora, if memory serves.
Yeah.
But you also have...
Yes, I think we also had a... There you
go. Yes. Stony, one of your characters, let's see which one are you? Ralph, actually does have a flashlight that seems to be nearly full charged, outside of just your phone. And so, Stony, so the three of you have been navigating with a combination of the night vision and just being able to use a flashlight on the ground. Also, because he is from town, Ralph, pretty much knows where the local tavern is, right here on Main Street. Just how close it is to the diner, which you have just passed. In fact, let me move your thing over here. There you go. Now you have a bit more of a map to look at. These are locations that the entire party knows, and not just what Ralph might know. So you guys are approximately coming up towards here, having just passed the diner.
That's the bar.
Yes, the watering hole.
Yeah. The watering hole. Does it look deserted, or are there people around?
You haven't quite got to there yet. I'm actually getting open the description of it right now.
Was the diner open when we passed it?
No, it looked to be closed and dark.
Did it look like something horrible had happened there too?
You didn't go close enough to examine anything about it. Now, you can, of course, decide to stop before getting close enough to the watering hole to see anything, go back and look at the diner if you would like.
I really want to go to where the people are.
You are in luck, because it's most likely your attention had been caught by the watering hole anyway, considering how dark it is outside. You can actually see that there is still a flickering sign. That you can kind of see. It's weird because the light doesn't seem to be going out as far on this dark street as you might expect. It's like one of those things you're only really becoming aware of now that you're passing the diner. Which normally you would think that, hey, given that it's a flat line, I should have been able to see it all the way down to the motel, right? So maybe it's more that even you with your dark vision didn't see this, Nora, but everyone, the other two, maybe should have, but for some reason it was not very visible. A flickering sign, the one that spells out the watering hole, and from what you could tell just from here, the door seems to be slightly ajar. And given the slight flickering from the door, there appears to be someone standing in it, possibly moving slightly.
Uh, anything we can tell about how they look?
You can't make out any details. All you know is that there seems to be something moving inside the door. Like it's slightly ajar, and what you're seeing is basically little bits of light and shadow playing out. You can't make out any details from your current position.
Is it tall or whatever we're seeing is like a person, or is it small like a dog?
Considering some people are the size of dogs, it's hard to tell. Uh, Give me
Oh,
a spot hidden check, please.
All of us,
okay.
or just
Anyone who is trying to determine size from this distance.
Is that a regular roll?
It should be on your sheet. Let's see. Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
sorry,
it's on
regular
the
roll.
middle column.
Sorry. Yes, they're all going to be regular rolls unless I say otherwise.
Oh, right, I forgot
Arthur, it
about that.
doesn't look like your sheet has been set. I thought you said your sheet had been fixed. Doesn't look like your sheet has been
It it,
fixed.
it oh, did that not?
Eh,
I don't really have anything in spot. Is why.
Everyone should have at least a 25 in spot, so I'm not sure what's going on with your sheet.
Oh,
Unless you're
well,
blind. Are you
I
blind?
didn't.
Actually, you couldn't have been blind. You were driving.
I am. I am
He
not
could have
blind.
been
Oh,
driving.
okay. I guess I didn't. I didn't read that about a minimum spot of 25. So let me fix that real
I'm
quick.
sorry, I didn't mean to click on that. Uh, no, I was just saying is that when you were doing your characters and exciting things, I think spot hidden was something that you should have needed at least something in there. That might mean you might need to remove some other skill a bit to fix that. Not necessarily
Oh,
25,
okay, okay.
but basically you'd
Oh,
be,
I
if your spot hidden was 0, you'd be equivalent of blind. So I would say that's not really actionable. So I'm not sure why the sheet did that. Maybe it's because it was broken to begin
I'm
with.
not sure. It might be okay. So I put 20 on my spot, and I will take 20 off of something. Here, I'll take this 20 off of here. Okay. Oops. Okay, we're good now.
All right. Sorry, I was like looking at that and going that that didn't look right. I'll
I
take a look
see
at
it.
your.
I probably
Yeah.
I know what I did. I didn't look at the requirements for the class. I just kind of
Yeah. Well,
I'll fix it. I'll
what
fix it.
you might want to do is can you send yourself another character, or do I have to give you another character? Is there like a character plus selector up top, or
Let's,
no?
let's see. Doesn't look like it.
Okay, I'll give
No.
you a second character that you at some point, you don't have to do it today. But you can basically look at that and then try to do the character mancer and just like quickly recap the stats and see if it's the same exact skills and whatnot, in case you're missing points in something that you should be having points in. In fact, I think what I'll do is I'll hit use character mancer right on there. There we go. That way, that way when you get the chance, you just fix that and make sure that way your skills will be set up properly. Because I think it's sounding like maybe what you did was you did it manually or something.
I did. Well, the skills were all 0. So yeah, I went in and
Yeah,
did the skills
because
manually.
your character mancer should have automatically given you extra points in certain things and then assigned you a point pool. So it's probably like it's not valuing itself correctly right now. It's for your stats, and I don't want you to miss out because of that. But we're in the
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So just when you
I
get the
see what
chance,
you're
like
saying. It did.
between now and next session.
Yeah, I'll fix all that. It did automatically give me a bunch of fighting skills and a bunch of firearm skills. I think that's different from the dodge and
Yeah.
computer use and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So
So okay. So
Yeah,
given the
I have
roles,
those and I did nothing about it.
yeah, but both Nora and Arthur are heavily distracted. They're probably not even looking at the watering hole. Like they glanced at the watering hole, and then their attention got drawn elsewhere. Possibly they turned to talk to each other. Possibly something else just drew their attention. Either way, they might not have even seen the flickering, light that was over there. Unlike Arthur, who, when glancing towards the watering hole, can make out the vague outline of what's probably a shape sitting right inside the door, propping it open slightly, like enough to spill out some light onto the street, enough to keep an eye on the street, considering there's no windows.
it's not one of those spider things, is it?
No, it appears to be more of like a humanoid sort of shape, from what you can tell from here.
I guess we keep approaching, guys.
Oh, yeah, I was wondering why the diner's dark. Yeah, let's keep going.
Yeah. There's nothing around here.
All right. So the three of you get closer and closer to the door of the watering hole. You hear a bit of a sound. It sounds like the scraping of maybe a chair or a stool or something. As you get closer towards the door, Arthur, considering you saw this before, you basically see the figure standing up, pushing back what was probably a stool. And you see the door start to open slightly. And you hear a voice which I would like Ralph to please roll me. Let's see. I want to go with luck on this. Give me a regular luck roll, please. A voice that you instantly recognize as sweet. Go sit up. Cat on notes. Cat on notes. Sorry. That you immediately recognize as a dwarf regular patron of this establishment. In fact, with that role, you probably know that his name is. Where did my NPC page go? Why do I always forget the names at the last second? It's like on the tip of my tongue, and then immediately it just vanishes as I go to say it. Anyone else have that problem?
Mhm. Oh, all the time.
Yep. Me too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it so good. At least you guys understand. It is always one of the the more annoying things that always happens. It's like I know the name. I'm on a roll here, and blank. The name just vanishes from my head because it's not sitting directly in front of me.
I was running water deep, and the bad guy's name got changed to Sergeant Red because I couldn't remember his name.
Well, as long as you remember the name that you gave him.
That's the other problem, right? So he had to have red hair and big mustache like a Viking. There we go. I can remember that.
Ah, there it is. Yeah, you know this guy is named Groomish. And as he comes into view, you can see that it is most definitely Groomish, and you can hear him because you can hear him saying, "Oh, we got some more people. Hey!" And then he kind of looks over at you, Ralph, and says, "Oh, Ralph, you're alive! Oh, this is wonderful news. Come in, come in." The door is actually opened a lot wider, and you can those of you who do not recognize the voice because this is your first time here, you see a rather stout-looking dwarf with a long braided brown beard. He happens to be holding a shotgun at the moment, and there's a stool slightly behind him. He's actually not that tall, only about 4 feet, although that is, pretty decent size for a dwarf. Um, Ralph, you are aware that he is, a local here at the tavern. You've probably, had some conversations with him at various times if this is your normal establishment. And he used to work in the mines to the east. That's about it that you know about him. As he quickly waves the three of you inside the building. Do you enter?
We quickly will enter.
Yes.
Yes. And once I'm inside, I'll ask.
And
Um,
as you get inside,
why?
you see that he is. Some of my tokens are missing. Oh, that'd be this dude here. You can put your tokens down over here by the entrance.
Remind me how to do that. Sorry.
Oh, I can drag your tokens in. Never mind. That's
I'm
okay.
not sure I have a token.
Oh, oops.
Yeah, I don't have a token either.
That's okay. You got those little little tokens of yours. You have to remember which one's yours.
Okay, I'll work on getting a token while we keep playing. Sorry about that. I forgot.
That's cool. I completely forgot about the token thing either because lots of theater of the mind, but then there's things like this. All right, so
I like Arthur's token.
yeah, Arthur has an actual token here. Here, I'll
very
pull that page. That's over there. I have a page with information of who's
You can just
in the door.
I just Googled investigator token for Call of Cthulhu.
Well, considering you're playing it also a private investigator, that kind of fits. And that fits in perfectly with this world too, so it's all good.
Chris, you made up surpluses, right? If I Google that, it's not going to get me anything.
I made them up, so maybe Naga, Naga, but with arms, because
Yeah,
some
Naga's
Naga
close.
have arms, some Naga don't. I just didn't want to call them Naga.
Fair enough.
Malison. Try Malison.
All right.
Spelling.
Okay, here's the description of the inside of the building. Made of sturdy wood with an electric sign proclaiming the establishment's name. Inside, the dark windowless interior is lit by a variety of lights hanging down from the ceiling, as well as a variety of electronic entertainment. You see, for example, a TV and even a pinball machine. There's a pool table off into the side, along with a nearby dartboard. Most of the place is dominated, however, by a large mahogany bar in the shape of a horseshoe. Many taps and bottles take up the interior shelves to please the guests. There's a small kitchen in back behind a swinging door, although currently there is no swinging door. Ralph, you know that there should be a swinging door there. In fact, Ralph, give me a spot hidden roll again. So you're most likely to be the first one to notice, considering this is your local pub. All the doors that should be here are missing. There should be a door here into the kitchen. There should be a door here that you don't know what goes down there. There should be a door here. You've never been through that door either. And there definitely should be bathroom doors, which seem to be missing as well.
Okay,
And
so
there's
by
no power,
missing
right?
their
Power's out.
The power is not out, actually. There seems to be a limited amount of power going on here.
Oh, okay.
but by missing you mean open,
As in
not
the doors
wall
are
is fused over.
the
If
doors
the
are
doors
missing.
have been
There's
removed, not
yes, it looks as if the doors have been removed. And if anyone else wants to roll spot hidden to notice that oddly that there's no doors, you may do that as well. But of course, you've never been in this far. So.
No, I'm really worried that the dwarf was that surprised that Ralph was alive. I really want to ask him why.
Yeah, let me finish the description and then we'll get to that. You can see a set of stairs going into the basement. It's hard to tell what actually is in there, but you can see that it goes down. You can see two different single serving bathrooms over there that should under all circumstances have doors, but for some reason don't. And doors and a space where you can see stairs heading up. There's a variety of tables and chairs for dining and eating food. The various stools you can see are of different sizes. Like here are the sizes that you would normally see for like humans, maybe dwarves, depending. Like they might be a little big on a dwarf, but a dwarf can manage that just fine. And humans and elves and all that are gonna like that. There's much smaller stools over here for things like halflings, kobolds, gnomes, and the like. And then there are big stools here, which clearly fit things like Goliaths and ogres and the like. Speaking of ogres, they're the people that happen to be currently inside the bar. There is actually an ogre sitting over here. I just don't know why his token's missing. It possibly happened during the update from when I was originally running this as a 5th edition game into current. But there is an ogre sitting over here. I'll just use a generic ogre token. He happens to be wearing a slightly ragged suit, not as if he like pulled it off of something else and put it on or anything like that. No, it looks like a suit that maybe he's been wearing for some time. The cuffs have become frayed, and it seems to be like something he's been wearing for days on end at this point. He kind of looks up briefly as you come in, and then he looks down again at the bar. Kind of in between his hands, kind of moving around a little, is a small kitten. It kind of pokes its head up between his meaty hands and meows as it sees you, and he then pets it gently on the head. Okay, you already rolled a spot hidden. Can you also give me a I want to say luck roll, please, Nora?
Oh, good. Mine is not. Luck is not awesome.
Okay. As you can see, there's also some kobolds sitting here. There is a finely dressed, but also looking like that she's wearing slightly ragged clothes drow woman sitting here. With the kobolds, it's kind of hard to tell. Like they're wearing more sturdier clothes that could probably stand up to being worn for days in the end. Same thing with the dwarf. He's wearing the type of clothing that you would expect for somebody who could wear days on end. Behind the bar is a rather rugged looking human. He's big and kind of beefy looking. Not too big for a human, but he does look like he's pretty strong. He could probably lift up a couple kegs if he needed to. He just kind of nods as you come in. Ralph, you are aware this is Mac, the proprietor of this establishment. You probably gotten drinks from him before. Maybe even talked to him. It's hard to tell, but you at least know who he is. All right, that's it for the descriptions for now.
One question. Who or what is this?
That's the drow woman.
Oh, okay. Drow with
So I know Nora said she wanted to say something to somebody.
Yeah, I wanted to ask the dwarf, I'm sorry, I forgot his name.
The
I wanted
name's
to ask
Groomish Stonebottom. Welcome. We
uh,
haven't seen
oh,
many people in a
okay.
while.
Yeah, so you seemed really excited that Ralph is alive. Is it unusual for people to be alive? We saw what
Oh.
happened to the inn. I'm worried.
From my perspective, it's been a few weeks. Although, from Ralph's stated dress, yeah, son, I'm guessing it hasn't been that long at all for you.
Oh no, it's only been like a couple hours at most.
It was what the 25th last you looked? Yeah.
Yeah.
Seem to recall that.
He kind of nods. Yeah. Well, that for us, and he looks around at the bar. That was a couple weeks ago now.
Good lord. What's happened?
Well, on that night, I guess the same night it is for you. The darkness, what we want to call it, fell. The lights went off, and monsters. Some people just turned straight into monsters, and monsters disappeared. We were able to barricade ourselves in here for a while, expecting people and monsters to be banging on the door, but after an hour or so, I opened up the door and it was like a ghost town out there. I don't know how that works. You might want to talk to the professor over there, and he kind of gestures over at the drow woman. She kind of has a theory about some of the stuff that's going on, why the time is all screwy.
Well, this is good as nothing. Guess we're talking to her.
Well, it's good to see you alive, lad, but I'm guessing a lot of it's because whoever you were didn't experience what we have experienced recently. If you stay safe in here, maybe you won't have to. Kind of claps you on the back a bit.
Oh yeah. Hey, while I got you, what happened to the doors all around here?
He kind of sighs. This again that comes from not quite understanding what might be causing it, but if you value these people in front of me, I don't think I've met them before. Never close a door between you and them, or time might move differently in a bad way for one of you. We had to remove the doors after poor Jim Bob just went down to the basement to get some supplies, and well, he got trapped down there for months and died. After that, we removed all the doors. As far as we were concerned, it was only minutes.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Nora just sort of whimpers softly.
Whiskey over ice. Make that a double.
Matt kind of looks and nods. Says, I still got some whiskey, pal, but ain't got no ice. Sorry. He goes and grabs up some whiskey, pulls out a clean glass, and sets it down in front of you. Sounds like this is all new to you guys. Probably wandered in at the wrong moment.
But the dwarf talking crazy over there.
It ain't crazy, friend. We're having a kind of a problem. So tell me, have you seen something yet? Or did you just get lucky and just walk here from down the main street?
We stopped
The-
at the motel.
The dry woman just kind of looks at you. You gotten in any of the rooms in the motel?
I wouldn't stay there.
I was staying there before all this happened, but I haven't been able to get back to my room.
Why not?
You see in front of you a petite dry woman with purple eyes and white hair cut short. She's dressed in a simple pantsuit with a fine leather satchel at her side. Again, she's looking pretty good, but it looks like she's been wearing the same set of clothes for a while. And if the dwarf is to believe, it may have been weeks at this point. It's because it's not particularly safe out there. She kind of looks over at Nora.
Um, yeah, we saw The Office. It was bad.
I imagine the clerk is dead then?
Um, one way to put it.
She nods simply and takes a sip of whatever she has in her glass. Yes, a cold reality of our situation. And she shakes her head sadly. But it is good to see that there's still other survivors out there.
Why don't we just leave?
She chuckles. Well, you might have been able to get into town. There's unfortunately no way of getting back out. Not with this compression, as it were.
Is there,
What?
if
What?
there's a mechanic in town? All right, go ahead.
No, sorry. I was just asking what that meant, but go ahead.
She kind of flicks her eyes
So
between the two of you.
if there's a mechanic in town, my car is just not far away. It's not working, but if we get it going, get out of here.
No, even if you get it going, we're not going to be able to leave. Not without figuring out what's causing this. And one of the kobolds sitting over at this table, like, there's several of them sitting around, like, drinking. One of them's reading. One of them just kind of looks up from the food and goes, yeah, some of our clanmates went and tried. They got lost for a while. They said that they went in a straight line, but they found themselves right back, looking back in Main Street the same way they went in after a while. It just weirded them out. The other one finally looks up from a stack of stuff that he's looking at and going, weren't they over at the diner? I thought they were coming back with supplies. Oh, darn it, did they not make it? Kind of shakes his head, or its head's hard to tell gender with kobolds.
How long ago was that? Do you?
At this point,
You have food, I see.
Grimish speaks up and says, "Oh, yeah. Well, for us, it was not too long ago. It was only about an hour or so. But it's entirely possible that they closed the door to the diner or closed another door inside the diner, got trapped, and maybe time moved differently for them." Mac
Oh.
behind the bar just kind of sighs and says, we got food for now. Probably last another week or so, but depending on how many people are still in here or not. But it's important to get more supplies when we can, and who knows how many more people might find their way down here. There might be others like you who, as far as they're concerned, it's still the 25th or maybe the 26th or whatever it was. They don't realize that so much more time has gone by for others of us.
Yeah, but Mac, how much booze you got left?
Mm. It should last a while, depending on how much is being drunk. Some people just want to drink a lot, and I can't blame them. Others want to stay sober just in case someone comes up with a plan or, someone goes out on a resource mission. There was a group a couple days ago that wanted to go to the supermarket to pick up more supplies, more booze, as you said, more food. They never returned either. At least the ones at the diner might come back. I'm mostly certain that the ones at the supermarket, unless they also fell under some really big time discrepancy, aren't coming back. Just calling it a gut feeling. Dorian, the drow woman kind of rolls her purple eyes and just kind of shakes her head. Mac doesn't seem to understand how this works. I've tried explaining it. I'm guessing that the three of you won't really understand it much either.
Well, I'd like to. And how do you come to understand how it works? Are you a scholar in these sort of phenomenon?
Oh, I teach at the university. My field of study is planar theoretical physics.
Okay, which university? Because I go to a
The university that you go to. It's just referred to as the university.
Okay.
Arkham?
No, not in this world.
Oh,
Oh, I'm a student. I came here to study the artifacts in the museum. We're lucky to have you.
Maybe. I just came here for stopping off for a drink after another sad visit with my sister, but well, I guess it could have been worse. I could have been elsewhere in town when all this happened, but I wish I had just left rather than. She kind of sighs again and shakes her head. Anyway, yes, I am in a position to try to explain what I've observed from going on here. What do you know of planar physics, child?
We talked last time that there was a class that I audited that I failed. Was it planar physics or was it something else?
It was planar physics. It was her class. I was rolling to see if you remembered her or if she remembered you. She does not remember you. You did not remember her. You just vaguely remember the class.
first thing in the morning.
I know it's really hard.
Yes, it is. Most people will never get through my class. But that is all right. It's helping to impart some intelligence, some wisdom and thought-provoking questions into young minds. Anyway, and she kind of waves over at Ralph. Why don't you come over here too and give the three of you a lesson?
Okay then.
Yeah, tell us what is going on here. It seems Terrifying.
So, as you know, we are in one plane in particular. We are on the material plane. That is where our world resides. That is where things are of flesh and blood. And she kind of pinches her fingers, and she pinches basically the web between her hands. But as you might be aware of, there are many other planes that we know that we can even contact or interact with on some level or another. Things such as the spirit realm, the shadow plane, the Feywild. Now, of course, some of these are much more different than others. The Feywild is more of like a side realm. It is both a mortal realm and a realm of high magic and immortals, whereas ours is a pure mortal realm, which is why we are called the material plane, for example. The elemental realms, which, much like the Feywild, also contain a mixture of mortals and immortals. But then there are places like the spirit realm, which contain the spirits, and of course people that use astral projection and the like. And the shadow realm, which is a realm of dream and often thought of as the realm of undeath because of all of the ghosts and stuff that pass through there. It's also considered the place that the dead pass through on their way to the city of judgment. Yeah, depending on your religion, of course. Some religions say that their adherents skip through that section and go straight to the wherever their gods reside, which is often the celestial realm and the like. Or sometimes it is the nine hells. But in anyways, all of these are different planes. It is entirely possible to travel to them, although oftentimes one or more components of our beings can't quite make it. Flesh usually doesn't do well in some of those other realms, at least not of the non-living realms anyway. And sometimes bad things happen there to flesh. But when you do not have flesh anymore, when you are merely ghost and spirit, or one of the others, or transformed into something else entirely, well, those places are usually fine. But what we seem to be happening here is a bit of a compression of such planes. There's overlaps between us and the spirit realm, and us and the shadow realm. Normally, when places overlap, it's two mortal realms interlacing each other, such as the elemental realm or the fairyland and whatnot. But with these more abstract realms interacting with us, it's a bit more dangerous. And that's not the only thing. There's another thing to consider beyond planers. The planes can interact because they're all essentially three-dimensional spaces contained within a much higher dimensional space. And she's basically, I'm sorry if I'm boring any of you with her lecture talk, but because this is basically what she's talking about, and sometimes this stuff is going to get over my own head, and because of that, different effects can happen. She starts going blah blah. Basically, a lot of this stuff is probably going over people's heads. But then she gets down to the nitty gritty of it. And I have proposed that in some of these higher dimensions, there are planes that are essentially set off in ways that we do not understand. Have you ever noticed that certain undead beings, which would be found widely in the Shadow Realm, and certain fey creatures, also usually the immortal types, can't cross certain things called thresholds? Have you ever found that odd?
Yeah, totally. Uh-huh.
Which means thresholds have power. But they aren't something that you can quantify magically, which is odd. I have always found that odd, which makes me believe that thresholds are in fact another planar substance of some sort. That to them it's not simply magic or standard physics, something that they can overcome, not a magic that they can go up and down in scale, or physics as in like gravity that they could put enough power in and overcome, such as you can leap up into the sky if you had enough strength behind it. You get me? To those sort of beings, no matter how powerful they are, they can't overcome a threshold. Not without certain things that undo that threshold. It's not a magical constant, which means it is something else entirely, which means that thresholds exist on another plane of sorts. And that's what's going to come to mean something interesting. Time can pass differently in different planes. Have you ever realized that? Especially with the Feywild. The Feywild has a lot of different time problems. Time can pass differently in different sections. You can go into the fairy realm and then come back out at some other point. For you, weeks have passed, but for everyone else, only days have. So my
Nora
theory
nods, trying to look smart.
My theory is that thresholds are created by the existence of things such as doors. She kind of gestures around at the doors and lack thereof. And that behind thresholds, in a compression event like this, time can pass in different states, even if it appears to be in the same world on the same plane, because a threshold itself creates new planar possibilities. And that other planar possibility has different time. Do you understand?
Oh, yeah.
So when a door is open, the two times connect to each other. There's only one time at that point, it equals out. But when a door is closed, even into a room over there, you're creating a new threshold boundary where time can be different in those two spots. If I survive this, I will be authoring a new paper on the subject matter.
So if you say compression event, like this is something that happens regularly, is there a known way to
She shakes her head.
it?
No. This has never happened before. Except she pauses for a moment. Never in fully recorded history. There is a legend, I think. She paused for a moment. The kobold who's over there reading kind of looks up and says, there was a legend that said something about a near planar collapse that caused the castle of Zeladin to vanish in the first place 1,000 years ago. And then she kind of looks back and says, yes. So apparently we're in the right spot for that. Perhaps whatever happened 1,000 years ago still echoes now. And she kind of shakes her head. I would call it ridiculous, except that since this has never happened before and the only legend about it happened here in the first place, and she sighs, still, there must be some connection, I guess. And Mac then speaks up behind and says, to answer your question, I think that we don't know what caused this in the first place, so we're as much in the dark about this as you guys.
Nora kind of nods at him, and then she wants to hop up on the. I filled out what she owns, and she has her laptop with her. I'd like to pull out her laptop and see if it
all right, give me a luck roll. Give me a luck roll.
And Wi-Fi. Crap.
All right, time to roll some dice. You have a charge, but it is at 23%.
Do I have any internet?
Give me another luck roll. No, there doesn't even appear to be any type of local Wi-Fi. Basically, you're seeing this the sign for searching for connection. No connection found.
All right, I'm gonna turn off my laptop and put it back. Without, I was gonna try to look this up, but instead I will pull. I also have a textbook on magical history. Can I flip through that and see if this is mentioned, even
Sure.
remotely?
Let's see.
I
I
was
believe that
coming here
there's
to look
some.
at the.
Let me look at your sheet and tell you what you need to roll for this.
Okay. Because I was coming here to try to
Um,
study magical history
Yeah.
at the museum about everything.
Okay. So I'm gonna go with make your history roll. See if you can find this information.
Um,
Oh. So you quickly flip through your book, and you get to a place where there is basically it's a tiny it's a basically a tiny portion of part of a chapter that's talking about like magical theories, and again, and some odd events. There's some mentions of mostly you find it under subheadings about the sundering, which nobody knows what the cause of that is either, or whether there'll be another one. Um, the sundering, of course, was an event about 5,000 years ago that essentially destroyed the world, as it were. Uh, Basically, a lot history and everything else was lost. There's still occasionally artifacts or ancient culture like things that are found from back then, but they are incredibly rare. Uh, but it talks about like races going missing, other races suddenly appearing, whole cities vanishing, all that sort of stuff. And it basically references back to that, saying no one knows what caused the sundering, no one knows if it will happen again. Uh, and to your surprise, actually mentions the myth about what happened to Zaladin. Different people had conflicting accounts of what actually happened there because nobody's really speaking about it. Basically said the entire capital city of Zaladin 1,000 years ago kind of vanished, and there was some speculation as to whether this was a micro sundering of some kind. Other people mentioned that before it vanished, it got completely surrounded by some kind of no go field. Like nobody could leave it. Um, that basically it darkened. Uh, there are apparently a couple survivors, but nobody mentioned by name. Only some rumors about some kind of strange corrupted monsters that appeared briefly, and then the city vanished. Not really vanished, sorry. The city sunk into the ground, as it were, and collapsed. Which is why some people then say at the bottom of that that this was no sundering event. The city but it was basically destroyed by some kind of magical event, and that somebody attacked it with monsters, and that put up a shield. They basically there's different conflicting events about that, but there's still enough information on there that that basically connected the two things and put it in your book, because no one actually knows what
Right.
happened, or that those who did know what happened did not speak about it.
But the odds are everybody dies and we sink into the earth. That's fantastic. Nora is going to order a drink as well.
You, does
What
the
can I get you?
drow professor?
I don't know which one is you. Hold on. Since both of these two
I'm the
token.
top one.
All right. What can I get you?
Alcohol.
He pours you something that's mostly clear and sets it in front of you.
I drink it.
Give me a constitutional.
Oh, good. Um, sorry, I'm still figuring out where everything is. Okay. It's a success.
It burns a bit on the way down, but it's not bad.
All right, I'll keep drinking. I think Arthur had a question.
All right.
I was just gonna ask the drow professor if she thinks this is some kind of sundering event.
She lets out a long sigh. Child, I am not certain what kind of event this is, nor do I know exactly what sort of things caused the sundering to begin with. It's entirely possible, and if so, well, if so, the world's probably doomed, and we're just the first symptom of it. She reaches over to her glass and downs it. With any luck, it is just this town. Something bad has happened. Maybe something bad got unleashed when they were digging up the ruins. But I would just love to get out of here and write a paper on my theories. That's all.
How long do drow live?
In my world, both drow and high elves live incredibly long lives. They can live for several thousand years. Unlike wood
That's
elves,
entirely possible that she
unlike
was around when this happened the first time.
yes, that's entirely possible. Unlike, let's say, wood elves who only who live closer to what the books D&D books say elves live for. But on
Okay.
Alaris, yeah, elves can live for thousands of years. Like, sorry, high elves and drow. Wood elves are different.
So now I
What
have
about
to
you,
try to figure out
Slim?
if there's a.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. I have to figure out a polite way to ask her if she's old enough to remember last time.
Hmm. What's up with you and your cat there, ogre man?
The ogre kind of looks up and gives it a bit of a sad, toothy smile. Oof. And his voice is a bit gravelly. I'm not sure how well I can do that. I'm just a bit worried that there won't be enough food for him. This little guy, I was just bringing him home that day. Just wanted to stop in to show Mac and my pals. 'Cause I was getting settled in. Had a nice apartment. I just moved down here from the big city. Some some of my cousins and stuff are getting a job at the same place I did, and we're all gonna be living soon. Gonna be moving to maybe getting a house instead of just an apartment. I mean, great. Kind of sighs. Hopefully, they're still back in the city and don't know what's happened here.
Oh, exciting stuff there, fella. What do you think? The kobolds over here, they have something to do with this?
Kind
Oh
of
God.
lifts an eyebrow. What would you think the kobolds have anything to do with this? Kind of shakes his head and looks over at the other at the other two. Like, I hope you ain't friends with this guy. He seems a bit racist.
Just met him tonight.
As did I.
Oh, lighten up. We're all dead anyway.
Nora's gonna drink faster. Okay, so I'm actually gonna come over to the drow and I'm gonna ask her, do you by any chance know anyone or have any family who was around during the sundering or when
The Sundering?
the
No.
the
The
castle
Sundering was a
fell?
very long time ago. When Selden fell, nobody I would speak to. Me and my sister, we left our homeland a long time ago. We do know that it was my land that Zaladin was in a war with at the time. Uh, I always feel like the people of Mlarin just inherited that war. Still kept trying to move in. To this day, I still don't know why. But I think it all had to do with the queen back then.
The queen of the drow or the queen of
The drow.
here? Ah,
Yeah, she was a bit of a wild one. Summoning demons, from what I understand. And one of her own
oh, good.
sons was a vampire.
Are there displays about her in the museum?
I wouldn't be surprised. I haven't looked at it. Mac kind of looks up and says, I don't think so. But there might be something in some of the history associated with near the end. There's some references to the battle. Apparently, it was a bit of a shock that Zaladin collapsed after it stopped. Kind of supposedly stopped that queen a couple of years before the collapse.
Stop. Does that mean kill?
He kind of shrugs. The professor kind of nods her head. Yes. Killed her
What about her?
son, killed all of that stuff.
Anybody in her family left to say exact a terrible curse upon this land?
I don't know if she had other children or if her sons had ever had any children. I'm unaware of it. And even so, they probably would have been killed by backstabbers back in the kingdom back in the day anyway. I don't think she was well liked. But then again, my family didn't exactly get out of there till a few centuries later. I think when the wars, this time with the Mlarans, started up again.
Do you know what's driving the current war?
I don't know, and I don't care. I do not care for what's going on down there. That's why I live here.
Fair enough. Ralph, do you have anybody you want to talk to?
Oh no, I'm good.
Yeah, well, Nora's going to go back here and have another drink because this is really bad news, and she doesn't feel like there's anything she can do about it.
All right. From the GM's from the GM, okay, keeper in this context perspective. How long do you guys feel like it is going to be that you sit here and drink?
That's a good question.
I mean, from our perspective, it's the middle of the night, right? So we're probably tired.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so maybe another half an hour. If nothing happens, I'll ask if it's so if there's somewhere I can sleep out of the way.
Yeah. Though they're not pictured here in this particular drawing, there's actually a bunch of booths back here that are good for curling up, sleeping, any of that stuff that you need.
Yeah, that sounds
Um,
good to
back,
me after driving all day.
yeah. Did you stay back here?
Yeah. Like all this entire way down the side.
For some reason, I'm not saying your pangs.
You're not?
Um, yeah.
Where
But
Arthur?
the side
Basically,
across
where
from us?
Arthur is. Look where Arthur is. Can you see Arthur?
Disappeared off my map. No.
Scroll
Oh,
scroll
there he is.
down.
Okay, yes. I see him. I see him now. Yeah, okay. So I will curl up in a booth. But like I'll curl up in a booth next to Arthur, but definitely not in the same booth because I don't want people to after that kobold shit, I don't want to be too associated with until people forget he said that.
It's just so scaly.
Oh God, shut up, Arthur.
And she's scaly too. She's a Cerberus.
That's a good point. I'm actually going to be a couple of booths over from Arthur after that shit.
Oh man.
And I did find a token to use for this session, but I can't get it to upload. So I uploaded it, but I can't. It's not showing. The section of my character sheet isn't showing up, so I can't get it to become my official token. So
All right. So maybe for next session we'll get that section of it ironed out. All right. So let's see. For this, as you guys are all sleeping, what do I want you to roll? I would like you to all roll on your sanity.
Oh, good. Oops.
All right, just waiting.
Versus 29. Holy shit.
Ooh.
We're all fucked. Oh, yeah, Ralph and I are fucked.
All right, I think I'm gonna take Nora to the next room first, and then I'm gonna come back and grab Ralph for the second set. Okay.
Okay.
All right. You are fast asleep, and you start to hear whispering. What do you wish to do?
Can I tell what the whispers are saying?
No, just some indistinct whispering.
Does it sound malicious?
It sounds like whispering. Would you like to roll a listen check?
Yes. Oops. Oh crap. Shit. Sorry. I accidentally hit one of my bookmarks.
Been there, done that.
Give it a second to load back up. I'll probably have to pull up my character sheet again. Yep. And listen. Library use. Listen.
All right. Nope, you cannot make out what the whispers are saying at all.
What the fuck is that thing rolling all that stuff? Oh, that's way further up. Never mind. Okay. So it just indistinct whispers. Can I tell that I'm still asleep?
Give me an intelligence roll. Yes, you do know that you're sleeping.
All right. I guess I'll keep sleeping. She's kind of a sheltered kid. If they don't sound malicious, she probably thinks it's okay to keep sleeping.
Okay. As you sleep, you appear to be in a fog-drenched location. The whispers are all around you. And then you start hearing what sounds like feet. Soft tapping of feet making their way towards you.
I will try to look towards where the feet are coming from.
All right, give me a spot hidden check.
Nope.
You do not see the figure until they stand directly in front of you. It looks to be a skeleton wearing armor. Black armor, to be exact. Bony fingers reach towards your face as you hear a whispered voice. What?
Sorry, I was gonna try to jerk away, but go on.
As you hear a whispered voice issuing from the skeleton's mouth saying, "You need to find him."
Okay, I'm gonna try to keep my face out of their grasp, but I'll ask who.
The boy. You want this to stop. Find me the boy. Find where he hides.
Which boy?
You
Like
see
literally any information?
you see the image of a child, no more than 8, with a short shock of red hair and crystal blue eyes.
Human?
Fine. Yes, he looks human, although maybe slightly elven, but his ears definitely look human. Like he has the sort of features that he's probably got some elf in his blood, but hard to tell by how much.
Okay.
Find him. Find him. And this can end. He'll be free from this place. Give me another sanity
what
check.
do you need? Okay.
And you suddenly snap awake. Hello? Stony, are you back?
Hello?
Oh yeah.
All right, time for your dreams. All right. You are hearing whispers in your sleep. What do you do?
Can I understand them?
Give me a listen check. No, they are faint and indistinct.
Can I, so there's coming from all around,
Yes.
and there's nothing around. I just hear whispers.
Just whispers in the darkness. You feel like you're surrounded by fog and it's hard to make anything out anywhere, like nodes, shapes. But you still feel like you can see.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna try to feel around for something.
You feel like empty space, but as you feel around, you feel like you have weight and that you're standing on a surface. That you have the ability to walk. There's just nothing directly around you for your arms to touch.
Hmm. Okay, so there's nothing around me that I can see or touch. Yeah, let's see here.
And as you continue to look around, feeling your hands pass through nothing, you start hearing the sound of echoing footsteps. Something is getting closer.
So is it like again? Is that all around, or am I able to pinpoint the location?
Give me a spot hidden check. Ah. As you turn around, you see a shape moving through the darkness, through the shadows, through the fog, perhaps? It's weird. Even though you have normal human vision, and this is like dark and you would assume pitch blackness, you can still see the shape coming towards you in the distance, through this darkness at a distance. Even though the shape itself seems to be dressed in black armor, perhaps it is the white of the bones, of the arms, of the skull that is lighting it up in this darkness for some reason, as the skeletal figure comes closer and closer towards you.
Well, do I? Does he look like he poses a threat?
Give me an intelligence check. Okay. Though you wouldn't at first think as the skeletal figure gets closer, you can tell that the way that the armor is cut, that this is most likely a female skeleton, assuming that they didn't just grab a random breastplate. Uh, that a woman would have been more likely to have been a woman than a man in life to have been wearing this. Uh, they don't appear to be armed, but clearly some kind of undead as they get closer towards you.
I'll try to speak to it.
What do you say?
Hello.
They stop not too distant from you and kind of tilt their head somewhat. How tall are you? How tall is your character, by the way?
Size, I got 55.
So height wise, what do you think that would be?
I think like around 5'10".
All right. So the skeleton is definitely looking up a bit at you, and kind of reaches. They kind of reach their hand up a little bit towards you and say, "I need you to find someone."
Find who?
A boy. He is hiding. He has brought this place the peril that it is in.
Where can I find him?
I do not know where he is. He is hiding from me. But I need him found. Only when he's found and brought to me will this curse be lifted, and you'll be able to leave this place.
Where are you?
I am around.
How will we know when we found either the boy or you?
I will let you know if you find me. If you find the boy, you will recognize him. And she kind of like moves her hands in the air, and you see an image of what appears to be a human, or maybe partially human. It's hard to tell, but some of the bone structure that maybe he's part elven, though his ears are definitely human. Boy of no more than about 8, with crystal blue eyes and short red hair. Find him. Give me a sanity check, please. As she says this, the voice seems to echo and take on a bit of malice. Find him, find him, find him, find him, find him, find him. Can you give me a second sanity check, please? Ooh, that's not good. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Yeah, I just rolled something for that was not good. If you're not gonna wake up, good. Give me a sec. I need to find the right page for what I'm looking for. You just failed something not fun to fail.
Oh, good.
Here we are. Oh. Ah. All right. So you've developed a bit of a phobia. Your new phobia, it's something that your character may have had previously, but regardless of whether you had this fear before or not, you now have the fear of being buried alive and also of cemeteries in general.
Okay. So,
Yes.
so,
Whoop. Your fears of not of spiders and heights, but
oh yeah, because I had
oh
the
wait, those were previous fears. So now your
yeah.
fear, in addition to these, is also of being buried alive.
Okay. Very
Okay. And you wake up possibly feeling like you're being buried alive. So do with that information as you may.
uh, kind of rock country. It was fun. It was awesome. It's awesome.
And now everybody is awake again.
Weird shit. Oh, what a dream.
Oh,
Oh god.
Nora has a notebook and pencil in her bag. She's gonna sketch what she saw.
All right.
Is it
How
morning?
long have we been asleep? Can we tell?
You wake up feeling refreshed. Well, at least two of you do. Ralph,
Yeah.
you wake up feeling as if there's massive weights piled on top of you, and as if you're completely surrounded by something. As
Okay.
if you've been buried. What is your reaction to this?
Just start screaming until I actually
Okay, go on.
until I actually open my eyes and realize I'm still in the bar.
Oh, Ralph, you okay, man?
Yeah, forget the sketching. I'm gonna drop everything and run over and ask him what happened.
I felt like I was being buried alive. Before that, I had this weird dream.
Did you see a skeleton?
Yes.
Did it want you to find a child?
Yes. I guess you had the same dream
Crap.
as well.
Probably. Said if we give it a
Was
kid, a specific kid, this whole thing stops.
Did they tell you where you could find the boy?
No, he's a. I know what he looks like, and yeah, no name, no location. Also, the whole giving a child to a skeleton thing makes me uncomfortable as a life choice.
just kind of glance over here.
Oh yeah.
Some of the kobolds seem to be asleep at this moment,
But how do we
as
know
is the ogre.
if this person's telling the truth or not? If this person is actually even real?
Was this skeleton
Sorry.
perhaps a queen?
I didn't see a crown.
I thought she was more like
It
a
looked.
warrior in her past life.
Yeah, was wearing armor, black armor. Wasn't
Might be able to.
was it a female? Could we tell if the voice was female? I don't remember that, Chris.
The voice was whispery. Give me an intelligence check. Yeah, it sounded like a woman to you, like a young woman.
Okay. A young woman. Queens are usually old.
I wonder if we can find some answers at the museum.
Probably. We could probably also find some monsters and some death.
As long as we don't close any doors, I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, leaving doors open in a monster infested town, what could possibly go wrong? Um, is the drow around?
Yes, she is sitting on a stool again. Looks like she is refreshed from whatever meditation she needed to do today.
I'm gonna I'm gonna take my notebook and sketch the lady in the armor and the boy. I have no idea what my skill level is there, but um, I don't know. Is there something I can roll to see if it's like an actual picture or just stick figures?
Let's see what your skills are. Let's see. None of the main skills are artistic in nature, so it feels like one of those things where you probably would have had that in, as one of your additional skills, had you thought it was important. But that being
I definitely.
said, I think we're gonna try. Uh, a. I want to go with hard and dexterity. Oh, okay. So fresh from the dream, you managed to do a pretty good rendition of the skeleton and the armor. You're gonna have to do to make an accurate picture of the boy, because this, skeleton and armor are not that bad. It's still hard because you're not a drawer. We're gonna go with extreme for the boy to see how well you capture his essence. Yeah. It's a bit of a stick figure, maybe. I don't know if you have colors or anything like that, but it's like a face. You just kind of draw a circle, eyes. Maybe you put little directions showing like, okay, this is the height of his hair. It's red. Here, he's got two eyes.
Yeah,
They're
like arrows
blue.
going red hair, blue eyes.
Yeah,
Kind of looks like an elf. Like I
a
gave up on
human,
drawing and
but
just started like writing.
maybe some elvish features, that sort of stuff, like chiseled cheekbones that
Yeah,
still have baby fat on them because he's a kid.
which are just like lines across the circle at this point.
Yeah.
But all right, well I'll show her the picture of the skeleton and armor and ask if it rings any bells.
She kind of frowns. He goes, looks like something that a human would wear. Probably a human.
Oh yeah, do I have any idea what race the skeleton was from the skeleton?
Hominoid, which runs the gambit of, well, it probably human or elf. From the looks of it, the looks of it, could easily be mixed
Yeah.
race of like human or elf. When it comes to skeletons, it's hard to tell. You could probably pick
Yeah,
out
like
somebody
hairs and
who's an
stuff,
or
cartilage. So.
exactly. But elves do have certain features that make their bone structure a bit more severe, and they might also be in my world. They also tend to be taller on average than the average human, versus I think a lot of D&D races, which usually have them as shorter. Because I've seen pictures, but still, it's one of those things where it's hard to tell. It could easily be a human, could be a slightly shorter elf. It could easily be a mix. Very hard to tell.
Okay. Yeah. Well, her voice sounded female and probably young. Possibly asking for a human sacrifice to end this. Didn't really get around to why she wanted us to give her a child, but giving children to apparitions of death, not always a great plan. I just wondered if this rang any bells for you with the history or the planar stuff.
She kind of
you were talking about.
Shook her head. Doesn't ring any bells for me.
Okay. I'm gonna show the picture around to everybody else and just ask if they've dreamed about her.
Yeah, Mac takes a look at the picture and nods slowly. Yeah, I seem to recall having a dream like that once or twice. I just told the thing to F off. I don't care what it was saying. If it's looking for a kid, I don't think that bodes well.
Did you recognize the kid? Did it show you a picture of the kid? Do you know whose kid it is? And
not a kid I've ever seen before.
Just thinking that if we knew if we knew anything about the kid, we might know A, why this kid, and B, be able to warn him about this situation.
I'm not even sure if that kid's still alive, but I guess if you just dreamed about him, he probably is, assuming he's a real kid to begin with. That's one of those. Maybe you should check over at the school. Because even if the school's if it's a current student or anything like that, he is probably in some paper records somewhere you can look up, or maybe there's even some database. You saw a fancy laptop. Maybe there's a database you can interface with that's on the school property.
That's a good point. Thanks, Mac. Does anybody else recognize the skeleton?
Most of the patron, you're going to go around asking everyone, right?
Everyone is awake.
Yeah. So most of the patrons pretty much just shake their head. One of the kobolds says, "Yeah, some of our nestmates were talking about those dreams. I think some of them went out looking to see if that kid was real. They never came back." And the dwarf also nods. I'm with Knuckle Nuttl, and I pretty much just told it to oof, and never saw it again.
Okay. Skeleton with boundaries. Good to know. Next time, probably try to get a little bit more information out of her, and then I'll tell her to F off. Thanks. I'm not good at being rude to people in armor. I'll work on it. What about the other guys? What are you guys doing?
Let's see.
I'm still over here in the corner catching my breath.
There.
Guess I'll yeah, just sit at the bar and contemplate things for a minute. I really think that there's no answer here in this bar, and there's certainly no children. To find somebody that knows about this the skeleton in black armor, this was young woman in black armor, and I don't know. I just have a hunch that we'll find answers at the museum, but I'm not sure.
I'll ask Ralph if the elementary school is on the way to the museum by any chance.
I believe Ralph. So you have your a map that has the map actually does have markings on it. Good, so you can tell them if you want.
Yeah, I got the map open.
So if we went to the museum, would the elementary school be on the way, or is it in another direction entirely?
Okay, so okay, so yeah. Okay, can you repeat that?
So we're at the watering hole. If we went to the museum, would the elementary school be on the way, or would we have to go in a totally different direction to go to the school than to go to the museum?
Okay, so how do I put this? They're in the same direction, but we'll get to the museum first, more likely, and then we have to walk farther down to get to the school.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, we could go to the museum. If that doesn't have anything, then we could go to the school. That's an idea. Um, Arthur, are you gonna
For
come be
that,
part of this conversation, or? Hmm?
Arthur's part of the conversation. I'm not. This
oh
is
yeah,
up to you guys.
yeah. I'm all for going and stopping by the school. Yeah, that sounds like a great plan.
All right.
I mean,
So
I don't think sitting here at this bar is just. I don't think we're gonna get anywhere doing that.
I think we're gonna stay alive. Um. Okay. Nora's gonna. Hmm. She's gonna leave. So she has two bags. She has a backpack and then like a clothing bag. With like toiletries and outfits and stuff.
Okay.
She's gonna put everything that's not clothing and toiletries into the backpack, and then leave the other bag um, in the bar so that she can run more easily
As
if
you
she needs
do,
to.
Max says, uh, just so you, sorry, just so you know, Miss, if you're not back here in a set amount of time, I'm going to assume that you're either dead or way far out of time. And if anyone else comes in and needs something from this bag, I'll let them have it.
Yeah, I figured.
I'll try not to if if it's only a few days, just in case. But beyond that, it's kind of everything for everybody around here.
Yeah, I figured, but I doubt I'm you know gonna prioritize brushing my teeth while we're running from monsters. So um,
You never know, but
you know what?
thanks.
She'll bring the toothpaste. She'll leave everything else. She'll bring the toothpaste and the toothbrush.
Does hey bartender, you got a bottle that I can take with me that I can buy from you or uh slip in my pocket?
Kind of stares at you for a moment. You really think that's safe to be going out there and where the danger is, and while taking a drink with you?
Well, I'm hoping if you got something with some high proof.
Give me a luck roll. He kind of nods and grabs one of the bottles from the lower rack and says, "This won't be too good for drinking, but if you need to stuff a rag into it and turn it into some sort of uh, launchable or whatnot, or use it to, you know, set some fires, it'll be useful. You can still try to drink it if you want, though." He hands it over.
I will thank him and I'll take a sip, just to sample it and put the rest in my pocket.
Yeah, it's basically the low quality stuff that college students buy just to like mix into their punches, that sort of stuff.
HRD, what's that called? Everclear.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
Woohoo! That's better. Okay, I'm ready to go kick monster butt now.
So the three of you are heading out of the watering hole.
Yes.
Well, yeah. Part of me wants to ask them for food. Part of me also thinks that's a dick move because we're probably gonna die. So, I won't.
Yeah, it's one of those sort of situations.
Uh, I have 5 granola bars. It'll be fine. Uh, whatever the in-world version of granola bars are. Um,
Plus the toothpaste.
well, it's the toothpaste and the toothbrush. Well, yeah, I'm not going to eat the toothpaste. That sounds like a bad lifestyle. So is this the bar?
Yep, that's the watering hole right there.
Do we want to try to raid the diner before we go off into the rest of the town so that we have food with us? Do we want to eat breakfast at the bar before we tell them that we're leaving?
I'm not too hungry for some reason.
And you do feel oddly
Okay.
well rested.
That doesn't mean I don't feel hungry. Unless, are you telling me we're not hungry when we wake up?
Well, you are hungry. You just also happen to not be struck down by tiredness from sleeping in weird places.
Okay.
And in spite of the
Sure.
nightmares, or the one nightmare and the one just weird dream.
I assume my stomach was upset from the chug of Everclear I took. So
Probably.
I'm not.
Yeah, you've had the breakfast of detectives.
Yeah.
The rest
Yeah,
of us.
right.
The hair of the dog that
Private
that put you
detective.
down the night before. Yeah, so in addition to knowing about the diner nearby, you also know that there's two different roads. You can see that from traveling on. There is the main street going that way, and then there is this road over here, which you can see the labeling of, which is called Business Street.
Um,
Well,
so guys, we sounds like we might be gone for a while, or do we want to maybe see if we can grab any food from the diner before we get going, or do we want to
I mean,
book it for the museum?
it's right across the street, and if I
Yeah,
recall, didn't didn't some um of those kobolds like disappear on a run over to the diner?
they did. But maybe they didn't know about the door thing.
Yeah, I mean that might be something. Yeah, I think that's a mystery maybe we can solve simply by opening a door.
Speaking of Grizz, is there any like fallen wood or anything that I can grab to make door stops as we go?
Not where you're standing. Not in the watering hole that you can tell. No, it looks like they've already done something with the doors.
No, I meant like out here. When I
No.
assumed this conversation was happening outside.
While like many places, while the place is called Pine Valley, the pines are out on the outskirts of town, like surrounding the town versus inside town. Inside town is tightly packed with houses, businesses, many of which are currently shuttered.
Okay, rubble.
Like, give me a spot hidden check.
Nope.
No, don't see anything that appears to be rubble. The streets look like they're in pretty decent shape.
Okay, does anybody
Keep
have
an
any
eye out.
tools? Can we just take the doors off the hinges as we come to them? That would be safer.
I slipped my tire iron into my belt when we left the car last night. That might take a door off a hinge.
By the way, as you leave the watering hole itself, and Grimish goes back to sitting at the door, you notice that it's still pitch black outside, even though you know that you slept long enough for it to be daytime. And neither moon is in the sky either. Alara spot. Roll me a spot hidden check.
That should be pretty easy.
You know what I forgot to do was charge my phone while we were in the bar.
Oh, me too. Hidden. Okay, here it is.
We're gonna die.
Yeah, you gaze up into the sky and nothing. It just looks dark to you.
I fixed my character, so the numbers and stats and stuff should be right.
Excellent. Yeah, so now you even have a pretty decent spot hidden. That's why I said your original stat of 0 didn't make any sense. It's like, isn't that just like a normal thing that your character automatically has?
And as a detective, shouldn't you be good at it?
Yeah, right. That's what they said, and I read the rule book about detective. I said, well, you'll need this.
Do you have any other tools or just your tire? Like, I don't know what anybody else has on them. Except for the phones we stupidly didn't charge.
I wonder if the diner's door is glass. Maybe I could just smash it.
That's a fun. Although then, does it still count as a threshold?
I don't know. Guess it's still a
There's
door.
Still a metal part you can open and close. Yeah.
Well, maybe if there's kobolds in there and we open the door, we could say, grab some food and come out.
Sure. The first thing I actually want to do is circle the diner. Because I assume it has windows and stuff. I just want to see if there's anything horrible outside of it that we see as we're walking around before we go in.
All right.
Endless clerks or something. Yeah, good plan.
Even in the gloom of the night and darkness streets, the diner. No, that's right. No, the diner is currently dark. Sorry. At different times the diner is lit up. I'm just looking at the wrong description. Sorry. Unlike the tavern across the street, the diner actually has windows in front of it, so you can see in to the dark structure and see various booths and various other stools lining because it's one of those what in our world would look like a streetcar type of diner, like where you got the the group of seating in front of the window, and then you have a kind of like Bob's Burgers sort of place, inside. It's nice and compact, and it's got booze plus a selection on the bar. You can't see anybody from where you're standing through the large plate windows.
Do I see blood or monsters or severed limbs or anything like that?
Roll spot hidden.
Dark vision. I really, really need this. Yes.
All right. So you peer into the diner, and looking around the front room, you can see that there is a door leading into the back, and there's a pass-through window, like what appears to be a swinging door. Most likely into the kitchen. In the front room, you don't see anything really amiss. Although, as you're going down the row of the windows, you can see that at one of the tables, there's what appears to be the remains of someone's meal, along with what appears to be a purse sitting on the booth seat.
I thought you were going to say the remains of a kobold, so
Nope.
that's better. Uh, okay. Maybe they've been in the bathroom for 20 years. Kind of dressing to leave their purse, but okay. And no blood or anything. I'd still like to circle the building and see like if there's anything horrible out the back
Okay.
before we go in.
Are all three of you circling?
I'm gonna go up to the door, like the main entrance.
All right.
Is it glass or is it a solid door?
It's like a metal door with bits of window in it.
Okay. I'll take the tire iron and I will tap, not lightly, but not bang. Make a good noise, a good knock with the tire iron on the metal door. Just bang, 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 bang,
Clang,
bang.
clang, clang.
All right, so Nora's gonna kind of like she was going out to circle the building. She's gonna kind of hang by the corner where she could hide if something eats him, or but still see what's happening.
And what about Ralph if you're back?
I was looking to circle around the other side of the building for
Okay.
Nora.
So you're splitting the party is what you're telling me. Got it. All right.
I
So
wasn't intending to, but then Arthur just.
so
I
so Ralph is
think
walking
bang
sorry, Nora is walking along the street section, walking down that section of the building. Ralph is going around. He's walking through the parking lot. Nora, as you're circling around the building, you find the employee parking lot, places for where like a delivery truck could easily park, and you spot the back door first from your position, even as Ralph rounds the corner to see you again.
Phew. Okay, does the back door like have any blood on it? Have any fingers sticking out from under it? Anything like that?
Give me a spot hidden check.
I don't want to. I'm bad at that. Oh, okay.
All right. You can see what looks like one of those little things that you were actually looking for before, a doorstep. That seems to have tumbled off into the grass right outside the rear exit. But you don't see any blood or body parts.
I will pick it up.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah. I'll pick up the doorstep.
What are you doing during all of this, Arthur? There's no response to your tapping.
Is the door locked or could it be opened?
It's unlocked.
I will open the door. I will not go in, but just open the door.
All right.
Push it in, I assume, or does it pull
It
open?
pulls open.
Oh, okay. Pull it open and then stand in front of it so it doesn't close or anything, and just have a good look around at the inside there. If anything moving or just if I can see anything.
Give me a listen check. Apparently, you didn't fix everything on your sheet.
Oh, well, it didn't say anything about having listened on
You're
my
not
on the
deaf.
character.
Your character isn't deaf.
Oh, okay. Well,
We would have established this at the beginning of the game if you were deaf.
Okay.
Now I
I
really
guess I'll
want
have
to
to.
see a game where people are either blind or deaf playing this.
Yeah.
That would be very
Yeah,
scary
really.
on top of scary.
It, yeah. Yeah, I
It would also
don't know.
protect you
Maybe I
from
don't have the
certain things.
complete rules, but I just did what it told me to do for a private investigator. It didn't say anything about listen. Um. Let's see. I guess I. Oh no, there were ones you're supposed to put another 20% on that I didn't do. Okay, let me redo that real quick. Sorry about the delay, but I have 20% I need to add to that. I forgot. Or 20, I mean. Okay, now let's try that again. Oh, still a failure.
Yeah, still a failure. Nope. You don't hear anything. Ralph, what are you doing? You just see Nora picking something up from the ground by the back door.
Can I see what she picked up from where I'm at?
Yeah, looks like yeah. Arthur, yeah. It looks like you're going. Sorry, it looks like it's a doorstop.
Hey, what are you planning to do with that?
Um, use it to convince you guys that we need to take doors off hinges because it looks like they were using this to keep the back door open and it shut anyway. So I was I was gonna show you guys this and really hope that a tire iron can take hinges off. Unless you have I don't know, camera fixing tools or something as a reporter, maybe you have a screwdriver.
Not on my person, though.
You're a person, okay? Well, yeah, let's see if we can let's go back to Arthur before he gets bored and goes inside and talk about this.
That would be a good idea.
Yeah. Um
Can you see
we have to
anything
go
over
back to
there?
Featherweight Quarter. We're on the other side of a building.
I thought you guys were going back to the front.
Oh, we are. I just wasn't sure if anything happened on the way.
No, you're good.
And
Looks
yeah, I found sorry, go on.
looks deserted in there.
Yeah, so I found this doorstop in the grass, kind of like it had been flung out as the door closed anyway. I'm thinking we really need to take doors off hinges, if at all possible, rather than just blocking them. I think this might be what happened to the kobolds.
I'll have a quick look. Does this door look like I can get it off a hinge with my tire iron?
Give me an intelligence check. You study it. but it occurs to you a tire iron is not a good tool for this sort of thing.
I do like your stuck in the bathroom idea, hypothesis.
Hey, real quick. So is the since the diner is like glass doors, right?
It's a metallic door, actually.
Oh, then never mind then. I was gonna
Plenty
suggest
of glass windows, though.
because I was gonna suggest like breaking the door or a glass on the door, see if that would affect it.
I'd be willing to go in if somebody were to stand in the doorway and keep the door from closing. You know, a human or or snake person, doorstop.
Okay, but the food's probably in the kitchen, and there's another door there, so it's gonna take all three of us. Or we could go around back and, since the food's probably in the kitchen, try to use just prop the kitchen door open instead.
Okay. Hey, you're so smart. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, let's go around and see if the kitchen door is unlocked, because I didn't check that when I was back there.
All right.
Is the kitchen door unlocked?
You
Chris?
get back. You get back to the back door, and find that it is locked. Looks like there's a key, uh, oh, a clear lock that requires a key to access this back door. Keyhole. There we go.
Anyone know how to pick locks? Or break doorknobs using a tire iron?
Yeah, I mean, I could try to smash it open or pry it open. What do you think? Would that be possible?
Prying it open would possibly damage the hinges and make it harder for it to shut on us. So it's a twofer?
Is that what you would like to try?
Uh, yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe I could jam it in there, and maybe all three of us could. I don't know if it takes more than one of us to pry on it. Put all our strength together.
All
Yeah,
right.
'cause there's like the flat end of a tire iron, right? There's sort of a
Yeah.
chisel side.
Right.
So to operate attacking this door with a tire iron, I think that would be using fighting skill number 1.
Okay.
Hmm. You
I have
actually
academic arms.
no, yeah. You also didn't have a weapon on you that would allow you to do this in the first place. So
Oh, he
because
wanted us to gang up together.
no,
but
this
go
was
on.
this is only something Arthur could do alone if he was using the tire iron. So he basically Arthur takes the tire iron, slams it into the doorknob, and actually manages to sever its connection, causing the entire thing to break apart on both sides, and the door is able to open. But I think this is a good place to stop at this juncture, since Call of Cthulhu is a
Oh,
bit shorter sessions than D&D was. But this gives us a
Bummer.
great place to start again in the next session.
I didn't know it
I
was
like
going to
the
be shorter.
cliffhanger. Yep.
Uh,
Yeah, the cliffhanger is appropriate.